Hi, boys and girls. My name is Miss Melissa, and I am a teaching artist in the PACE Art program. Guess what we are going to be making today? An adventure map, kind of like this one right here. Would you like to go on an adventure with me today? What if we made sand castles together at the beach? Maybe we could have a picnic in the hills or go fishing in a lake. What about hiking up a mountain? Or what if we could travel to the canyons and go exploring inside of a dark cave? And after that, we can go take a walk in the sand dunes. And then maybe we could even travel to an island. I don't know about you, but I am ready to go exploring today. All you need is your imagination and, a few art supplies. You will need a white sheet of paper, your pencil, and a box of markers. And if you don't have markers, you could always use your crayons. So go and get your supplies, and while you're getting your supplies, I'll show you what lines we're going to be using to draw your adventure map. So I'm going to use my whiteboard so I can show you how to draw lines that will help you create all of the landforms and bodies of water that we're going to travel to today to have a fun adventure. So look, first I have a straight line. This straight line can be drawn side to side, up and down, diagonal, anyway. You can have several of them going in rows. We're going to use this straight line to draw the forest, sand castles on the beach, and the bottom of an island. Now watch, here I have a curvy line. You can draw curvy lines all kind of ways too. You know what we're going to use these curvy lines for? We can even connect curvy lines. We're going to use these curvy lines to draw a river, an ocean, a lake, a cave, canyons, a desert, and sand dunes. Now take a look at this. You know what this kind of line is called? Good, a zigzag line. We're going to use this one to draw the mountains. And here I have a, wavy line. You know what we're going to use these wavy lines to draw? The hills. Now we know there's all kinds of maps, right? Whenever you go sightseeing, a lot of those maps are used to show you places that you'd like to go visit. And these pink symbols, that is going to be the place that we go visit for our adventures. So this map that you're going to make with me today will have pictures and symbols. A good example of a map that you might use to go sightseeing would be a map of Disney World. I wonder if any of you have ever been to Disney World. When we went to Disney World, we had a very big sightseeing map to look at. So let's go ahead and make ours. Now, you're going to use your white paper, just like I have here, and I want you to pretend that we are camping in the forest. Pretend that we're camping in the forest. Let's go ahead and you're going to copy off of me. I'm going to show you how to draw our adventures using lines. So let's go ahead and draw a log cabin. We're going to use a straight line to draw a log cabin. The log cabin actually looks like a square and the roof looks like a triangle. And now I'm drawing straight lines for the logs going across. We can make a door and a window. I'm using straight lines to make my log cabin. And I think I'm going to put a chimney. And we could draw smoke coming out. Now, what I want you to do is, now this is where we're going to pretend that we started our adventure. So we're all in this log cabin, right? And we're going to travel all around. So let me show you a few tricks to get our paper set up. What I want you to do is draw a straight line across the top of the paper. We're going to leave a little bit of room at the top. So just kind of guess. We want most of this to be like the ground, and we're going to have a little bit of sky in our map just for fun. All right, so after you draw a straight line across, what I want you to do is find the middle of that straight line, and that's where we're going to make a river. The river needs to divide the land. So let's go ahead and do that together. We're going to make a big curve right above your log cabin. See that? And let's make one more together. A big curve. There's our river. So far you have your log cabin, your river, and now we're going to make another curve for the ocean. Watch. Just like that. I'll explain this later. This is going to be the ocean. Okay? So once you draw that, now it kind of helps us divide up the land. All right, now, ready? Back to the cabin. Since we're in the forest, don't you think we need trees? Absolutely. So what I want you to do is draw a straight line, and you could draw, basically make a rectangle and draw some more straight lines for your tree branches. We're going to be using markers to color this, so we're just making triangles. It's going to color right over it. I guess you can say we're making kind of like pine trees. I can draw maybe one more. So we are drawing the forest together. Now, let's pretend that we're leaving the log cabin, traveling through the forest, and we just so happen to come across a giant lake. What if we go fishing in the lake? So let's just draw a lake. We're going to use our curvy lines. It's going to be kind of like a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It could be nice and bumpy, see? Just like that. Now you can maybe draw yourself fishing in a boat or a canoe with someone. Now I'm going to draw stick figures the whole time, which means circle for the head, straight arms for the body and the legs. I'm going to put someone in the boat with me fishing. I think me and my son are going to go fishing together. He's going to be fishing too. So we're using stick figures, stick people. Basically, circle for the head, and the arms have straight lines, and the legs have straight lines. Everything else is straight. I'm going to catch a big fish. So go ahead and you can draw yourself fishing if you want. Maybe you don't want to be fishing. Maybe you would like to go swimming, and that's fine too. So I'm going to make some you know, a couple of wavy lines to show that we're in a lake. All right, so let's pretend that we just finished fishing all day or swimming, and what do you think you'd like to do next? Well, it's probably time to eat, huh? So why don't we take a walk and go have a picnic on the hillside? Wouldn't that be nice? So let me show you how to draw some hills. Ready? You just make wavy lines like this all the way to the river. Now wherever it goes down, I'm going to make a bump on top of it that goes up. You see? You just kind of make some bumps too, or you can continue making waves. You see that? We can draw some more. Nice big hills. Let's draw a picnic blanket. How would we draw that? It's been a long time since I've gone on a picnic. That's always nice. I just made a rectangle. I'm going to draw me and my son having a picnic. We're sitting down. We're eating. There's all kinds of food. And then I'm going to draw some checkers because we're going to have a red and white checkered picnic blanket. Cool. Yeah, because we were getting hungry, right? If you go fishing or swimming all day, don't you get hungry? Let's say we ate and we had our energy and we want to go exploring. What if we keep traveling north? If we keep traveling north, eventually we're going to see lots of mountains. So you can draw some mountains with your zigzag lines, and we're going to stop right at the river. If you want to make some snow-capped mountains, you can draw little zigzags on top. See that? I might need to put some more hills, I feel like. Look at that. There we go. Now, what could we do in the mountains? Go hiking? That would be fun. So I'm going to draw me and my son hiking on the mountain. This is pretty cool. I think you're doing a great job. Look, that is what the top of the mountains would look like if it was snowing. Now notice, let's pretend we come back down the mountain and there's a river and we have to get across, right? So let's go ahead and draw a bridge. We're going to cross this river, okay? You can see rivers stretch for miles and miles and miles. We're going to cross over the river and go exploring in the canyons. Now, canyons are very similar to mountains, except they don't really have tall peaks, and it's near like the desert, kind of more desert area, and a lot of times you have these plateaus where it's like flat on top, and the rock is orange. So this is all orange, and many times you could see, you can actually see caves inside canyons. We can go exploring inside of a cave, and up close it might look something like that. So this is going to be the cave. You notice so far we've just used straight lines and curvy, huh? Now, that was fun. We saw a handful of bats inside the cave. So what's next on our adventure? Since we're already in the desert, we might as well go play in the sand dunes. So we're going to have to walk all the way across. So let's go ahead maybe and draw, how about a cactus plant. Let's draw a cactus plant to show that we are in the desert. And cactus plants have what? Very round structures with spiky little needles all over. And we could draw ourselves walking out of the cave. We're just traveling all over the place. And we're going to be going to the sand dunes. Now, these sand dunes, I mean, you know, it's pretty bumpy, but when I went to some, it had kind of a point at the top. So we're gonna try to make some sand dunes that have like a point. Curve, it points up, and it curves back down again. And you have some that are, you know, smaller than others. They're just uneven. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, the sand dunes kind of get a little pointed, and we can run through them and kick the sand. We can kind of get past those big hills of sand and get to the beach area where it's a lot more flat, and we can actually make a sandcastle with straight lines. Kind of make some little bumps on top. And we can do this together. Me and my son are going to make a sandcastle together. So from walking all the way across the desert, past the sand dunes, and to the beach where we made a castle, we're starting to get really hungry again and thirsty. So we see an island. Why don't we take a trip to the island and try to go maybe eat some coconuts? We can drink the coconut juice from the coconuts that fall off a palm tree. So let's draw the island with the tree, right? We can take a boat across or swim across. So here's the island. Here's my tree. Everything I used has a curvy line, and I'm going to make some lines going down the palm tree. Now watch how to make a palm tree for the leaves. That's the trunk. You make an X, right? Make an X on top of your tree trunk, and you're going to just kind of scribble, like kind of zigzag lines. See that? And you can put coconuts in the tree. That would be really nice, don't you think? After being so hot in the sun, to go get some of those coconuts on that island. So all of this is going to be the ocean. So I'm going to make some wavy lines to show that I'm in the ocean. Oh, look. Let me show you this. I forgot to show you this. This is the picture of a beach. I don't know if you've been to the beach, but it's always nice to play in the sand. And we use the sand and the water to make our sand castle, right? And then check this out. Here's a good picture of an island far away. I meant to show you that. There's a lot of trees, though. We just drew one. So now we can actually color. Let's see. I want you to get let's make our, let me show you what I got. Let's go ahead and make our symbols so we don't, get my markers, so we don't forget where we traveled to, the actual sites that we went see. So what I want you to do is put a big pink dot right next to your forest. And then I want you to put one right on top of the, where do we go next? The lake. Very good. Then we traveled to the hills to have a picnic. After that, where did we go? Hiking in the mountains. Good. And then we had to get across. What did we have to cross? The river. We had to cross the river by a bridge, right? And then where did we go after that? In the canyons, and we even traveled to the cave. So we're marking all of the landforms with our marker to show where we went. We passed through the desert, so I'm going to put it right by the cactus. Through the sand dunes, we got to kick the sand around. We went all the way to the beach, so I'm going to put another one by the sand castle. And then we swam across and went eat coconuts on the island. Wow, look at all those adventures that we had, that we pretended to have, right? So make sure you mark all the places we went to with your pink marker, or even a red marker is fine, something very bright. Now what I want you to do is take a black marker, and keep in mind you could always use a crayon. We're going to make some dashed lines to kind of like show a trail of where we went. So let's start from the log cabin, and you're copying off of me. Just some little dash lines, right? To show where we traveled. Now, did I go to cross the bridge first? No, I went all the way. We went hiking up the mountain. So you're just kind of tracing your steps back to where you went. After the mountains, we went to the canyons and the cave, but we had to cross the river, huh? So very good. And then we traveled to the desert, through the sand dunes. We made a castle, and bingo, we made it to the island. Wow, look at our footprints. Look at how far we traveled. This is what I really like about maps. You can see so many places, right? And so I'll just start coloring a few trees in the forest. And after you draw your symbol, you can start coloring. Once you draw your symbol, you can start coloring, but make sure you put some dashed lines with a black marker to show where you traveled to. What sites did you travel to? What adventures did you have? So you would just continue to color your picture. I'm only going to have time to do the trees with you, but you get to color the whole thing. You get to be creative. I didn't have a light blue. I only had dark blue. So maybe if you have a light blue, you can have 2 shades of blue. I think you did a fantastic job creating your very own adventure map. Thanks for joining me today. We learned about so many things together. We learned how to make a sightseeing map, and we learned to draw this map out of all kinds of lines. Do you remember the 4 types of lines that we used today? Straight line, very good. Curvy, zigzag, and wavy. We even got a chance to visit many landforms and bodies of water. And the best part was, let me guess, you got to use that big imagination of yours to go on this fun-filled adventure. Well, as you go through the rest of your week, I hope you try drawing another sightseeing map. Maybe you can draw one of your own room. I bet you have the coolest toys and the most comfy bed. Maybe you can draw a map of your house, like all the different rooms in your house, or you could draw a sightseeing map of your neighborhood. Maps can be fun to make. Just don't forget to put the bright symbol next to your pictures, because for a sightseeing map, these bright symbols, as you can see, mine are pink, that is the place that you're going to go visit. That means it's the place you're going to go explore or have an adventure, go sightseeing. So for that type of map, you have to put these little pink dots to help you see where you need to go to have fun. Well, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon next time.